What's up, y'all? It's your boy Gremlin back at Clanime, where we talk, debate, and relate anything and everything anime. Today, I've been staring at snow all day. I don't know where this idea came from, but I decided I wanted to talk about ice manipulation. Problem is, I looked it up. There's 108 of them things across the board. So I've narrowed it down to my favorite 10. I'm ready to talk about it. I hope y'all agree. Let's get to it. Alright, y'all. Like I said, welcome back. And just to jump straight to it, man, there was 108 characters across all of anime that use ice manipulation. So I did have to narrow it down. I just wanted to give a quick disclosure that a few of them, such as Black Clover and Demon Slayer, I think there's one more, they're strictly manga because you've seen the character, but they haven't had any fights yet. But if you read the manga, their powers are so dope that I couldn't just ignore them and put some random character that's been on screen time. So it is going to be a little disclosure there. And if you don't want the spoilers, I'm sorry. But I had to pull them out, bro. I had to pull out the big guns. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with number 10. Oh my god, I hope I say his name right. It's Hyssop. Or Hyssop. You know who it is. And if you don't, that's probably why he's number 10. Okay, so I did have to pull up Dragon Ball Super. He does use ice. He has the ice lance. You know, he's able to do that. He can hit zero temperature. And his only feat, really, that I've seen, that I've cared about, was he froze Vegeta's arm. And that immediately got parried when Vegeta hit Super Saiyan. And it was just like, well, this is useless. So I don't really want to sit here and talk about him too much. He is number 10 for me because he does use ice. And other than that, he doesn't really have any feats. And I mean, Dragon Ball is a hard one to, like, you know, power scale compared to everything else in the anime world. But that universe still does have a power scaling system. So with that being said, I had to put him on there because that's no, like, I mean, if he would have froze Vegeta's whole body, alright, but since he just got a hand, and that hand broke free of the ice as soon as Super Saiyan came out. Sorry, bro. You number 10. Alright. Anyway, we're going to number 9. Alright. So, these next ones are, and I say ones because they're called the Urame. They are from Jujutsu Kaisen. And they're from the direct line of Sukuna. So they only worship him, and they're like trying to... They've obviously had a little bit of screen time so far. I don't think they've actually shown their ice breath, but they do have ice breathing, where they literally just blow their breath, and anything that their breath reaches freezes over. And, I mean, them versus Hyssop, that's why they're like 10 and 9. But they do have that ability, which is also pretty dope. But because of their direct line to Sukuna, which is... I ain't even gonna bring that up yet. But because they do worship him and they do have fighting capabilities more than just that, so far all they do is the ice breath. But I mean, they do still have the martial arts and everything else under their belt. So they can hold up a little bit better than that. And I feel like if they did breathe ice, to Vegeta, his whole body would have been frozen and not just a hand. And that's why I put them above Hisopp. And yeah, I'm not really going to talk about them too much either, man. I'm trying to get to the big guns. But yeah, I did pick them because that seemed pretty cool. You know, if you can just... and then everything's frozen. Yeah, that'd be cool. I can get down with that. Anyway, number 8. Shoto Todoroki, man. That is my dude. I wish he could be higher. I had to put him right here mainly because he's a hybrid half and half type of thing. He's got ice and fire. But I put him in the ice category mainly because he chooses to use ice. Now, I know further down the line, I've seen it, he does start using fire. But at the beginning, he was strictly against using the fire side because he's seen how destructive it can be because his dad abused his mom with it. So he used his mom's power instead of his dad's. And it was more just like a FU to his dad. And with that being said, I do think he could have been number 7. You'll hear about that in a minute. Because he does do a lot more. But because of the whole mental back and forth between fire, ice, everything else, I love Todoroki. And the only reason I said his first name is because that's literally his last name. And like he's had like 4 brothers and sisters and crap. And it's just like... So Shoto. We'll say Shoto. He's a good character. I love him. He's one of my favorites in My Hero. I kind of dropped it, but I do want to get back into it. I was caught up, and then there was so much more anime to watch. Then I was just like, this is still kind of moving pretty slow for me. But I do love Todoroki. Him and Tokiyami are my favorite, so you'll hear about that as well. But as far as ice goes, I gotta put him at 8. I wish I could put him higher. But considering he's still a kid learning his abilities, I expect good things from him. I do. But for this list personally, I can't put him higher. I could possibly put him at 7. I actually sat here and debated with myself before this video. And I came to the ultimate conclusion that I'm going to leave him where he's at. And sorry. I mean, I love Todoroki. Shoto Todoroki. He's my dude. I love him. I love his backstory. I love everything about him. He damn sure knows how to use some ice, man. But I don't think he's on the same level as the rest of these. Like I said, maybe number 7, which we about to talk about. Haku, man. Alright, so Haku is ice manipulation. Perfect introduction to the Naruto atmosphere. Like, alright, this is a jutsu. This is how you can use it. This is how good you can use it. And the crystal ice mirrors was a dope concept. Like, you're telling me I can just put up a lot of ice and create reflections and teleport between them because I can maneuver and manipulate ice. It was a dope concept. Like I said, I could probably switch him with Todoroki. It is a him, by the way. I double checked. I know Naruto was a little confused, which confused a lot of the audience, but it's a boy. And there's another one on this list. I will explain that one later. But as far as Haku goes, man, I wanted to love him more. Put him higher, everything else. But he's dead. And that kind of puts a damper on skill level. Other than that, I loved his concept. You know, I wish he would survive because he had a nice little backstory. You know, he kind of related to Sasuke a little bit with, oh my god, I got a Kekkei Genkai and my clan's dead. Here's some ice. and Senbon. He used a lot of Senbon, and he had a great way. He'd teleport, throw like 30 needles, and then he'd teleport to the other one, and it was dope, and it could have been so promising. He died. Plot. We'll put it that way. Plot prevented him from being higher on this list. I was really hoping to see more of him. I know they brought him back in the Great Ninja Shinobi War or whatever. But he still didn't even get much screen time there. I can't put him higher mainly because of that. Toshiro Hisugaya. I love him. He is one of my favorites in Bleach. The only thing that's keeping him from going forward is he has no feats. Bro, so it's stated, clearly stated. He says it every damn time when he pulls out his Zanpakuto. He's like, this is the strongest ice Zanpakuto. But tell me when he's won a fight. I wait. Alone, by the way. One-on-one. Tell me when he's won. I can wait all day. I can tell you, he's not won without help every time. And it sucks because I love him. His Bankai looks dope. He had a good feat against the Aizen at the end, like with the girl that she still didn't die. But he froze her for a good 3 episodes and she didn't move. And you know, it's like, I love him. I do. Toshiro, my bad. I forgot his name for a minute. But no, I do love him. I do. I root for him every time. Like, every time I see him on screen and he's about to go into a fight and he's all hyped up and he's ready. He's the youngest captain, by the way. Like, I know they're all like thousands of years old and stuff because they're in the Soul Society and they're technically dead already. But it's like, every time I see him, I'm like, dude, I hope you win this one. Like, for your people, I hope you win. Like, I'm rooting for you. And it's like, I think I only root for him because it's an underdog story every time. But he is my favorite character in Bleach. I do love Toshiro. Every time I see him, I'm like, yo, that's my dude. He's a GOAT. And then he constantly proves me wrong. But I still love him. And, I mean, Rukia has more feats than him. And she's an ice manipulator with her Zanpakuto. But because his is stated in the manga and in the anime, every time he even whips it out, he's just like, this is the strongest ice Zanpakuto. So because it's stated as the strongest Zanpakuto, I have to put him over that. I would have gladly put Rukia on here just because of her feats. But she uses more ice mist. He uses an ice dragon. And it's dope. But he doesn't have any feats to even be considered for the top 5. So I put him right there at 6 because he's still my boy. He's still learning. And he'll get to it. But for now, even in the 1,000-Year Blood War, I was like, oh my God, please do not die. And he didn't die. But he didn't win. He actually... Okay, so we are at One Piece, and this is where it gets tricky, because there are 2 ice manipulators within One Piece, and both of which have a lot of power. So, I want to go ahead and talk about Aokiji. He was a vice admiral, I believe. He was fighting for admiral. He lost and decided to change his name to Kuzan and join the Blackbeard Pirates. He has more screen time than any other bad guy / good. One Piece is a very confusing journey. Either way, he's ice manipulator. You first see him. He's riding across the ocean on a bike because he's freezing under him. So, like, no matter where he goes, he's like he doesn't have a ship. He just rides his bike. And that's how you meet him. Then you see him again with Robin. And you see a little bit of his backstory there, and then obviously when he loses the fight for the top dog, he's like, I don't want to work here no more, and he just goes to the other side, which is a pirate. And the next one, it's full disclosure, I do not care, and I just don't want any backlash from this. I'm calling Yamato a boy because that's what he classifies as. He was born as a female, got titties, got everything, but he is stated as Kaido's son. And I believe he is a wolf spirit devil fruit. So, like, he's, like, not the dragon, but, like, a spirit wolf or whatever. And he uses ice abilities as well. He meets Luffy in episode 972, roughly. I think in the manga it's like 970, but, you know, I don't care. Either way, I feel like Yamato is more powerful than Kuzan, but Kuzan has more screen time and more feats. So if you're not caught up on the manga, you wouldn't know most of the feats other than the whole Kaido arc that they're doing right now. So the Wano Island is where Yamato is. Luffy cuts off the shackles, and Yamato's like, yo, I'll help you kill my dad, you know? And then you got to see it. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I did want to leave this one up for debate. Who are you picking for number 5? Kuzan, Yamato? Leave it up in the comments, but I'm not going to move them up or down. Either one that gets picked will be right here at number 5. Their feats speak for themselves, but like I said, if you're not really all the way up to Wano, you're obviously going to be picking Kuzan / Aokiji. If you are at Wano and you've read the mangas, let me know if you think Yamato could clap Kuzan's cheeks, or yeah. Anyways, Cocytus. Alright, I hope I said that right, man. Cocytus. You know who I'm saying. It's just so many different pronunciations. I'd have to rewatch it. And I think it's Cocytus. Either way, he is a character. He is the guardian of the 5th floor or / gate of Overlord. And Overlord, as you know, is already OP. Okay? Anybody that works for Ainz is clapping, bro. They talk shit. They back it up. Everybody. Overpowered. Man, I love it, though. You know, it's an easy guy. He's stuck in the game. He's doing his thing. And Cocytus is... Actually, I believe he's, like, punished for something. And he's like, yo, you got to go fight the lizard men alone. Nothing else. And he's like, all right, I got you. And he ends up being, like, a teacher for these lizard men after he just, like, destroys them. And it doesn't really show too much of it, but he is stated as the ruler of the ice glacier, or the frozen glacier. And then there's also another one where they say the ruler of the frozen river, which I actually think sounds a lot cooler than a glacier, because a glacier's frozen. Why do you have to say it's a frozen glacier when that's what a glacier is? So I like frozen river better. Either way, he's the ruler of that. He was created by a warrior. I'm not even going to try to say his name. He is a dope character. I loved how, you know, he's more warrior-driven than the rest of them. He's got a lot of pride on his shoulders, and he knows he can screw you up. But he also has that pride of like, hey, my boss, my leader He told me to stand back. I'm going to stand back. I am worried for his safety. But if anybody tries to get involved, you got to deal with me because he wants to do a one-on-one. And like that's the thing I like about Overlord is like they show a lot of one-on-ones. Like they don't get in your way. You say you got it, they gonna let you have it. And I feel like he's a solid number 4, man. Like he can hold his own, and along with the ice abilities for this ice manipulation video, I'm putting him on number 4, and I hope y'all agree, man. If you haven't seen Overlord, definitely watch it. Cocytus is one of the guys. He's very envious of the rest of them. In the manga, he actually is the guardian of 9 and 10, not just the guardian of 5. But, you know, it's still, it is what it is. The anime is definitely where it's at. I personally watched it in dub because when you watch it in subbed, it's like every other word is English anyways. So that was the only difference. I didn't watch that one with subtitles. I just watched it in English and I just went with it. But I still loved it. Cocytus is definitely a solid 4 for me. When I saw his name, I was like, hell yeah. I know where to put him. So, anyways, I'm ranting a little bit. But yeah, number 4, we're going to go ahead and move on to number 3. And let's have some fun with these last 3. As Death from Akame got killed. There's only one reason she is here. And she's a beast. Okay, she's a beast. I'm not gonna lie. She is actually a beast. Yes, she may be wifey to some. But she, at the end of the day, is still one of the tops, man. She's a general. She's definitely there. Her ice abilities speak for themselves. But on top of that, she's just a savage, man. Like, you know, look past the looks. She's not a very friendly person. So there's one that's stated where, you know, she's buried 400,000 people alive just because it was her mission. And then there's another one where she goes in and she takes all their leaders and leaves them alive for last while the rest of her army is like brutally beating these people. And she made their leaders watch. Like she has no feelings. I do not believe that she does. On top of that, let's get to the ice abilities, man. She's a beast. All right. So, anyways, so she has the Ice Cavalry, which is not actually shown, but it is stated in the mangas that she does have the capability to create her own army of ice, and the ice takes form of an army of centaurs, and it's not shown obviously, but it is stated that she does have that ability. On top of that, man, she's already got... So her demon arm or whatever is how she uses cryokinesis, which is short for ice manipulation. It's just the scientific term. So cryokinesis is what her arm from a demon or whatever is able to do for her. And she uses it to its full extent. She is a monster. One of the best things is she's already a beast, but at the end of it, it's not proven that it has to do with her ability, but it is proven that she's capable of doing it, and her ice, whatever, that speaks for itself, but she can freeze time. So, like I said, it's not proven that that's ice manipulation or not, because that'd be kind of hard to explain how you can literally freeze time, but she can do it. And that's a very well earned top 3 spot simply because of that. And I would have put her higher, not not biased or anything, but I could not put her any higher simply because it doesn't really say if it's ice manipulation that helps her freeze time or if that's just another effect that she has. I know it's kind of hard to debate that because she does have ice abilities, and then out of nowhere she's able to freeze time. So is that one and one, or is that two separate abilities that just happen to be so close together? Because when you say you freeze time, it's a little different than stopping time. You know what I mean? Especially when you're an ice manipulator. So it's a very touchy subject, and that would be up for debate as well. Um, but let's be honest, man. We really just put her at top three because she's such a badass and a baddie at the same time. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on to number two. Okay, we are at number two, man, and it's Doma from Demon Slayer. It's just so ironic that I put the number two demon in the number two spot. I don't know how it happened that way, but it did. And he does use ice manipulation. His demon blood art, or you know what I mean. His blood demon art is capable of freezing, and he can just basically send it out from anywhere, really. But it is also stated that he it's so cold that it basically like prevents your breathing. And the only reason, that's dope, bro. Like, I mean, you're talking, I'm suffocating because it's so cold, and all you're doing is standing there. Like, that's a feat in itself. But the other feats is, it's only in manga, so this is a full spoiler alert now. He kills Shinobu, which is the insect Hashira, and then Kane, the flower Hashira, which they're sisters, by the way, but also he gives a run for the money on Kaneo, which is the foster sister of the flower Hashira, Shinobu. Um, they're basically the ones that train everybody, but they're there. It's Kaneo and Inosuke, and he gives them a nice battle as well. But his feats speak for themselves. Like, he's killed two Hashira. It's not been animated yet. It's gonna be dope when it is. I'm ready to see how they make this ice manipulation blood demon art a thing. Um, but yeah, he's definitely an ice manipulator, and he's definitely shown out, bro. He runs a cult, even though he's atheist. Like, it's weird. Like, he just speaks for himself, man. He's such a savage, and I feel bad. Like, he even said that like Shinobu was cute, and that's actually how he died, was from Shinobu, the insect Hashira. He did consume her, but she ingested all of her poison before he consumed her. So like it was basically like a sacrifice, and like that's the only way he died. And he froze himself to try to hold it all in, but he couldn't, and he died from poison from eating a human that controls poison. So I mean, if he wouldn't have died, he definitely could have possibly took this next spot. But I love him either way. He was a dope antagonist. He's one of the top demons. He was upper two, so he was almost number one spot. And then you got the main antagonist. But to put an ice manipulator at number two, even in the anime, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm glad we had the same thought. All right, so we're gonna talk about Lilith real quick, man. It's from Black Clover. She shows up in the Spade Kingdom. It's also manga, so spoiler alert again. Um, so really, I just wanted to do a quick one. She's obviously number one, and it's for the simple fact of her abilities. She is stated to be one of the top demons of the tree, and she's by far overpowers all of the Dark Triad. And this has all been stated in the anime. I know when she first shows up, she goes against Jack the Ripper and just slings him. Other than that, for the ice abilities, and that's the only reason I put her in number one, is she can freeze concepts and shadows. So you're telling me Peter Pan gonna have a run for his money, bro? Like, she's gonna freeze your shadow. Your shadow is no longer with you. It's like kind of like a shadow manipulation as well. She's obviously a demon, and I just can't wait to actually see it being animated. And for her, like, it's just such a dope concept. Like, to freeze someone's shadow. Now, obviously, you still have your ice maneuvers on top of that, but you're saying if I'm running at you and you just look at my shadow and you're just like, stop. It's kind of like it's kind of like a shadow manipulation deal there too, man. I wonder if I can sneak that in and try to debate that. I don't know. But she is one of the most powerful demons within Black Clover in their universe. That speaks for itself. Her abilities speak for itself. I'm just ready to see Lilith actually show up. And on top of that, Lilith is like the mother of all demons within bibliography and stuff. Or biblical aspect, which I mean, if she's the mother of all demons, I cannot wait to see their transition of that, because I know a lot of anime comes from religious aspects. So when you bring up a name Lilith, people are gonna know. And that's what really caught my eye when I was like, okay, she controls ice, so it's perfect for this video. But you're telling me she has the same name of the mother of all demons. So it's gonna get icy, So I'm really excited to actually see the animation, and then I'll probably do a quick breakdown of that. But for now, I had to put her at number one just because of her power scaling, and she's already got all those feats through the manga. So it's like once they animate that, I feel like it'll back up my theory of her being a straight beast. Anyways, man, that was my top 10. I'm sorry if this took a long time. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know the debates on number 5. Like I said, with One Piece. And then also, if you have any other debates you want to bring my way, let me know. If you didn't agree, let me know. And I'm more than willing to talk and move some stuff around. Like I said, this is just my personal opinion on what I feel I would see as a top 10. And it's always up for debate. That's the whole joy of anime, man. So once again, I appreciate you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. I'm trying to grow with you. And that's how we going to do it. Peace.